Hansbrough.
Yeah, he just got caught moving on that screen. Sometimes you get so frustrated offensively when you can't make shots. You just try to do a little extra. Just that movement into Cole. Usually you don't get that call if you're Cole unless you really try to fight hard over the screen. But Hansbrough moved into him and got the call. Cole got the benefit of the doubt there.
Hansbrough sits down with his third foul. Paul George is back, as is LeBron James. Hibbert has returned. The ball is deflected out. Last touch by Anthony of Miami.
Now, Miami got about 5.5 minutes rest there for LeBron James, which is important because you know if the game's close in the second half, he's just not going to come out at all. Eric Spoelstra during game one a couple times was telling LeBron while he was on the floor, said, you cannot get tired. You cannot get tired. And so he didn't.
Shot clock to 5. A lot of dribbling by George Hill, and he lost it.
Well, Mark, watching game one, I counted at least 3 possessions for the Pacers where they just dribbled. The point guard dribbled 15 seconds off the clock before the first pass was made. And there's just no way you can beat Miami by attacking that way. The ball has to move. You've got to pass it several times before you can even hope to get an advantage.
Pacers have hit just 2 of their last 18 shots. They have been smothered by Miami's defense. Shot clock down at 3. James to the fade. See how the Pacers fare on this possession. It has been very frustrating in this first half for Indiana. Miami's so good here at home. 28-5, tied with the Spurs for best home record in the NBA. Fouls on Chalmers, and that is his.
And think about this. I mean, West is one of the best power forwards in the league in terms of his ability to score on the block. And Miami, with Bosch out, just tells LeBron, okay, you go guard him. And he's completely taken West out of this game.
West just won a 4. Oh, Wade with the spin. Beat George off the dribble. And Indiana will talk it over.
An embarrassing sequence for the Pacers. I mean, there's no way that can happen defensively. Both West and Hibbert completely asleep on that weak side. And Wade takes advantage. Turnover, and it's just been a miracle when they've actually gotten a good look at the hoop.
During the regular season, Miami allowed just 92 points a game, which was 4th in the NBA. And here are the Pacers with about 3.5 left in this first half with only 24 points and another Indiana turnover. This led to a foul on Granger.
They just overload the strong side, which is similar to what Boston does. You know, there are a lot of teams that overload. Orlando does it too, but they have so much speed and quickness, not just with LeBron and Wade, but with Joel Anthony and Bosch and Turiaf.
Oh, nice backdoor pass. Turiaf could not finish. George played by Wade. And the call away from the ball. It is on Anthony, who's defending on Hibbert. I should say on Turiaf. So Turiaf called for his 3rd.
I don't think Eric Spoelstra minds that foul because it's an aggressive one. It's on the post. I think Miami is taking the will of Indiana by fronting the post and just not allowing anything in there. The Pacers want to throw the ball to the post and then play off of it. to open up their three-point game, but they're never getting to that.
Granger for three. Kept alive. Here's Granger with the layup. So Indiana, despite all their problems, down by just 7 with 2:45 remaining in this first half. Wade rebounded by Hill.
Now the Heat shooting just 39%. They're getting some, I think, some decent looks. They just haven't been able to hit. But you're right, Marv. They should be up by more.
And George Hill cuts it to a 5-point Miami lead.
That's what you have to have, is penetration. Somehow, that's what this league is all about these days, is penetration from the point guard spot, getting to the rim, scoring, or kicking out for a three. Very little of that for Indiana, but maybe George Hill's layup can get them into a groove here.
Hill able to save that pass. Met by Cole. Battier on West with help from Anthony. They swing it. Hill for three. Yes. George Hill, in his days with the San Antonio Spurs, credits Bruce Bowen with influencing him to develop.
First half is gone.
Battier gets it into James. Shot clock at 7. Here's Jones for three. Kept alive by the Heat. Coming up on a minute remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Cheryl Miller from Miami. Battier with a long three-point attempt. Shane Battier connecting for Miami's first three in the series. They had missed 6 on Sunday. They'd missed their first 6 attempts here tonight. Pass for Hibbert was off and is deflected out. Last touch by the Heat. It'll be Indiana ball. They'll have 8 on the shot clock.
Well, Indiana's done a better job taking care of the ball, and when you get good shots, it keeps Miami in the half court. And the Heat, once the game slows down, they're not the most.
Frank Vogel, 38 years old, second youngest head coach in the NBA. The youngest is Caleb Canales, new head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Shot clock to 4. Down to 2 as Granger unleashed. Rebounded by Cole. With a half minute to go in this first half. Both teams have a foul to give. Adjusting the wristband during the course of the dribble. Shot clock to 5. Anthony setting the pick. James. He had missed his previous 4 shots.
Once again, putting Hibbert in that pick and roll, making him come out to the perimeter. Easy shot for LeBron.
Here's the foul to give. Cole reaching in on Hill. Not sure that really did anything because still 6.3 to go in this first half, and Hill will inbound. Give and go. Pass intended for Hill, broken up. And that will end the first half.
In the post, push the guys up the lane and hopefully create a driving lane on the baseline, as you see the block by D-Wade. But more importantly, swing the ball and don't allow it to get stuck on one side, guys.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. Now Miami back in possession. Turiaf is held by Hibbert. That'll put Turiaf at the line for 2.
Frank Vogel was furious here because as George goes up, you see it's a clean block, but it looked like Benny Adams, the official underneath the hoop, raised his arm as if he was about to call foul and changed his mind. And you can imagine how Vogel feels. That was one of the few good looks they've had. He drew up a beautiful play coming out of halftime. And then the block shot from Wade. That recovery speed from Miami, once again, a factor.
Ronnie Turiaf, originally a second-round pick of the Lakers, spent 3 years in LA, then on to Golden State and the Knicks. Miami signing him as a free agent after he was released by the Nuggets.
It's a huge signing if you think about it, you know, especially now with Bosh out. Turioff is going to play an enormous role in the playoffs. His activity and his energy, particularly at the defensive end of the floor, is just very important for this club.
Again, they double up on George. Shot clock down to 3, 2, West. West not able to get going. They've done a terrific job on David West. Here's James with the step and then flips it off to the corner. Chalmers from downtown. And the long rebound is hustled down by Turioff. James had a notion, changed his mind, and fires one cross court to Haslam. LeBron watched by Paul George. Haslam.
Marv, that play really kind of epitomized Miami this year. What's happened to this team early in the season, LeBron would have shot that. They were really trying to put an emphasis on running, playing faster, but they slowed down their attack in order to solidify their defense. They didn't want to be vulnerable defensively as George Hill gets fouled on the jumper. But Miami's numbers before the All-Star break and after are remarkably different. It's rare that you see a team kind of switch its identity mid-season, but that's what happened with this club. They were worried about the three-point shooting that their opponents were putting up. The numbers were really high, and so they kind of went back to that old-school, slow style of Miami Heat basketball. It's been very effective for them.
That foul on Turioff is number 4, and he will take a seat. Joel Anthony coming back. Score Indiana Pacers and Miami Heat playoff gear at NBAstore.com. You can do it now. Get free shipping on orders over $99. NBAstore.com. One store, every team. First free throw attempts for the Pacers over the last 17 minutes as George Hill brings them within 4. Wade is running 2, got the shot off, and they'll call it in the act. Foul on George, that's his second.
Smart play from Wade with the continuation rule in the NBA. If you get bumped as you catch the ball, the officials will give you those 2 free throws on that play. So just toss it up there and see what happens.
Wade now 4 of 5 at the line. Back in game 1 on Sunday, the combination of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade outscored the Pacers by themselves 42-38 in the second half. In the fourth quarter, Miami's 2 All-Stars scored 22 of the Heat's 25 points. They went through a stretch when they scored 20 straight points for Miami.
I think the question is, Marv, will that be enough when they, or if they move on to play better teams? You know, if they go against Boston or Philadelphia, how about in the finals against, Oklahoma City or San Antonio? I mean, will they have enough scoring if Bosch isn't able to return?
If they get to that point.
If they get there, yeah. I mean, it appears in this series that they play such good defense that they're going to be able to slow down the Pacer attack enough where points aren't going to be at that much of a premium, but that's going to change.
Hibbert with the rebound of the miss by Wade. Indiana, very good road team during the regular season at 19-14. They won their last 5 in the regular season, then 2 more in the series at Orlando, but then lost game 1 here on Sunday. And the foul is called on Haslam. That is his first. So West will go to the line. To this point, David West 1 of 5 from the field. He had a solid game on Sunday. 17 points, 12 rebounds, coming off a strong series against the Magic.
Well, he's so important, he and Hibbert both, because this team is really built inside out. You see the profile for West, who was a standout with the Hornets the last few years, signed here with the Pacers ahead of the Boston Celtics, who were after him pretty hard, but he said he wanted to be a part of a team on the rise rather than joining a club that was already there. He's been a great leader for this team, but he has to produce in this series.